there, Kelly Tobey here. Thanks for joining us again. The theme today is around how we can enhance our relationships by actually being true to ourselves and honoring the essence of who we are. There's a tendency right from early childhood that because we want to survive and get our needs met, we'll tend to start to figure out what other people want from us and start to live our life according to that. So as a little child, we're looking for what our parents or our parent figures want from us, and then we start to adapt behaviors in order to get their approval, to get nurturing, to get love, to survive in the best way that we can. Now, when we're just looking to please other people, there can be a tendency to move further and further away from who we are at our essence, because sometimes what other people want from us aren't congruent with who we are at our core. So for instance, if as a child we had lots of energy and enthusiasm and like to run around and full of excitement, but perhaps we had a parent, for instance, that was dealing with migraine headaches a lot, and noise and lots of action was hard for them to handle. So we might have been told that we should shut down that energy, that we should be more quiet, and so in order to please the parent, we might start to make that part of ourselves wrong and push it away, push it aside, and start to change our personality into a more quiet, less enthusiastic person. Now that may not be true to who we are, but because we've adapted that attitude in order to survive, that just goes into our consciousness, and we may be living years and years later as an adult still stuck in that same pattern and pushing away our enthusiasm, because in the subconscious mind, this wouldn't be a conscious thought, but in the subconscious mind there may be a part of us that's still stuck at that child state, thinking that boy, if I get really enthusiastic and I put myself out there, then people are going to make me wrong, or I'm going to get punished for that, or I'm going to lose approval in some way. So that's just one example of hundreds of thousands of different things that can happen for us to start to betray who we are at our core and disconnect from that. So one of the things that's typical is when we go into relationships, whether that be primary relationships or relationships with friends, employers, employees, anywhere where we want some kind of approval or connection, there can be that tendency again to start to look for ways to behave in order for those people to approve of us. And if we're not checking in to see what's actually true for ourselves, if some of those behaviors that we're putting forward aren't in alignment with who we are at our core, then there's a place of self-betrayal that's going on. So even if we get approval from other people, even if they're telling us that we're a good person, that we're a nice person because of the way we act or behave, even if we're getting messages that we're loved, that love doesn't get to land at the core of who we are, because the love is actually being directed at that persona that we're putting on, those behaviors that we're putting on. And so in behind those behaviors there can be a concern going on in our mind, whether it's conscious or just subconscious, that if they really knew who I was at my core, would they actually love that? And so there's a place where we can't fully receive the love that's coming towards us if we're in betrayal of our own essence. So it can be risky to step more into being true to ourselves, because maybe the people around us won't like that flavor, maybe they won't approve of the behaviors or the attitudes that we have. But unless we step forward and be true to ourselves, there's no way to be fully loved at the depth of who we are. And so it's well worth the risk to step forward, to be true to ourselves, to see if that's going to be accepted by the people around us. If it's not, then perhaps there's other people that will be attracted into our life that will like our particular flavor. And if they're coming in and joining with us and approve and love who we are at our core, then there's a place where that love can actually land with who we are. And so of course it's much more fulfilling. It opens that door to deeper connections, more true connections. So that's a little bit about the theme that we will be going into more detail about coming up on a Wednesday night here. We have this series called Expanding Heartfelt Living, and that's every Wednesday night in Calgary. And so if you're in the Calgary area and you want to go into some more depth around this theme, then you're welcome to come out on January, I believe it's January the 12th is that evening, and you can find out more details at the website. So thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time if you decide to check in again.